Mike Risco, your host for the Greater Ossining Chamber of Commerce Chamber Chats. And we're here with George Switnicki. Hey George, how you doing?
Hey Mike, how are you?
Good, nice to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So we've known each other for quite a long time because we were neighbors with our businesses
For a long time.
And so can you tell the audience what you do and what your business is?
Sure. Well, I'm an attorney at law. Been doing this for a long time. Hate to say about 45 years now. I'm licensed to practice law not only in New York, but also Florida and Connecticut. And for years, I was located in New York City. I had a practice in Brooklyn, then later moved to Manhattan. And then something life-changing happened for me. I had an office building down near the World Trade Center during September 11th. And everybody got out of the building okay, but I was forced to relocate my office from downtown to my bedroom in my home here in Ossining. Never thinking that would last for long, but I had to work out of the house for 4 months. And I kind of got to know what it's like to have an office experience in a small town, you know, away from a big city. I eventually moved back, went back to the same building. And then life happens. I started to have kids, and kids got into the way as far as scheduling and everything. So it made more sense for me to relocate full time to Ossining. So as Mike said, I had an office on Croton Avenue, right where we are now. And I moved in really about 2003, 2004. And the best part of it was I was 5 minutes away from my home. So no more traveling on Metro North and the subway for an hour and a half each way to get to work. And this really worked out well as far as the kids' schedule and my own personal life, and gave me more time, more free time for not only the family, but for things that I like to do, such as, you know, we're sitting in your store now. I've spent almost as much time here as in my office some days. So
That's amazing. We've known each other for so long. I did not know any of that. Didn't know your history and your story. That's really interesting. So you found it, it's funny because I also live close to our work, and sometimes it's hard to get out of work, like get your head out of it, because there is no commute time, but I guess the trade-off, it's better than traveling for an hour and a half each way every day, right?
Well, that's true. And as you pointed out, when you have your own business, you're not on a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday schedule. Not a day goes by, especially now with technology the way it is, and customer or client expectations. They send you an email or a text any time of the day or night, and they get upset if you don't respond in real time. So, I try to work around that as much as I can. When it's my time, I try to keep it my time. But so the way we work has certainly changed over the past 20, 25 years from what we may have grew up working as. So, but there's nothing like being in a neighborhood and not only living here, but working here, because you get to know your neighbors and make friends that way. Yeah. And most of your customers or clients are also local residents who you establish relationships with. And as, case in point, the Chamber of Commerce, how many of the other businesses in the Chamber, help each other out, as your fellow chamber member is a customer,
right, and
you're a customer of theirs, and you see them, and you have kids the same age, and you wind up going to the same events and everything. It's a really wonderful experience, that I would have missed out on, I think, had I just kept working in the city all these years.
That's a really nice way to put that. That's the way a town should work out, and the way life should work out. It's really nice.
Especially now, we're so many. We see it here in our own town here in Ossining. So many businesses, storefronts are closed. They take forever to re-rent. It's tough starting up a new business, and even to maintain an ongoing one like you have and I have. You really kind of keep your eye on the ball, and you can't let up.
Yeah.
But our types of businesses are really, you don't see them that much anymore, because in retail, people are accustomed to shopping at big box stores, not the local community stores. I try to frequent, as many local businesses as I can. I'm not going to drive a half hour to save $1 on an item at a big box store that I can get here locally. And plus I know the person and you have a relationship. If I need a help or have a question or have to return something, it's much easier to do
Right.
that. And I think today's generation kind of loses sight of that because everything's so easy to order online. You don't even have to try it on. If you don't like it, it's so easy to return it. But that hurts businesses like ours that are more dependent on that customer relationship, that face-to-face personal attention that we can give that you don't get online or at a big box retailer.
Right.
So I hope I hope our businesses can remain going and growing and staying in existence because it's really part of the fabric of the town. You know, some businesses have been here certainly longer than you and I, and we want to see them succeed. And the only way we can do that is to have local people, not only our friends and kids' friends, but also become customers and patronize their businesses as we would like them to come in and shop at ours.
Can you give some advice for somebody that's starting a new business? You know, you've talked a lot about community and giving back to your community and shopping locally and things like that. You know, what can a business do from their side to be involved in the community and try to keep people coming in when, as you said, it's so easy to just go on your phone and buy something online? How can they, they can't really buy your kind of service on the phone, really, but
well, they can try. There's websites that will create legal documents for you, and now with artificial intelligence, you can get a lot of bad advice in any type of business or advice that you're looking for.
But what should somebody do if they're going to open a brick and mortar store or an office in a town? Why should they do that? What's beneficial about it, and what kinds of things should they do to be successful at it?
Well, I think the answer to that is really the answer. The answer's been the same for forever. If you want to, get the trust and business from your community, you really have to be active and part of it. You have to become involved. You can't just turn the key at 5 o'clock and go home and expect people to be waiting online the next morning when you open up. You really have to work at it, and you have to be visible. And maybe you're not going to get the customer today, maybe not next week, maybe not even for a year, but eventually they're going to need your product or services, and they'll remember, hey, these guys are right in town. I know that guy. Mm-hmm. I've spoken to him. I've seen him all around. I'm going to go there. And that's that customer is not shopping around at that point. They're going to be your customer because they trust you, they know your service and the personal attention, I think, that you have to be willing to give. And it's not easy. And starting out a new business is going to take a lot of work, but you have to keep that principle in mind. You have to be active and you have to be visible in your own neighborhood, community, civic groups, whether it's a chamber of commerce, a religious group, a school group, anything like that gets your name out there and your face out there so people get to know you. And you'll reap the benefits from that. That still works.
This is great advice. You could open like a mentorship program and help people. Are there other things besides what you're talking about that you think have kept you successful for 45 years? Are those the types of things that you've always done? I mean, when you worked in the city, how did you remain successful and having a business for over 4 decades is no easy task? What do you attribute that to?
I try to follow some of the advice I just gave, although not always with the results I wanted, but you have to stay in it, and it hasn't always been roses. There's been some lean times too, and you have to find a way to work through those times. But any business has that. It has its ups and downs, so you can't be discouraged. You really have to, once you start establishing those core relationships and you have some anchor clients or customers that keep coming back, you just have to work hard to maintain those relationships, never take them for granted, but that will also lead to new business as you get referrals and recommendations. So it's not easy to start, and you have to put the work in, and sometimes you might need some gray hairs to lend some additional credibility to what you're offering. But if you stick with it and have that base core of clients or customers, you can maintain a steady income for yourself and your family, as well as grow it if you want to continue to grow it. So those basics I don't think have changed. They're as true today as they were years ago.
That's great. So it's not even like new things. It's just like the same kind of human interactions and relationships have been, it's been the same the whole time.
Yes. Now maybe the way we engage each other has changed a little bit with modern technology. So, I'm a face-to-face kind of person. I like engaging people on a personal level. That doesn't work for everyone. Some people don't have time to do that, or the location to do that. So you use social media, and you do texting and emails and YouTube videos, whatever gets your message out there, or the product that you're selling in front of people that you want to see it. So there's a lot of new ways to accomplish that same thing. But I think the bottom line is you have to work at it, not just at getting new business, but at maintaining the existing relationships that you work so hard to get at the beginning. Don't neglect those. Make sure you check in with them and continue to service their
I love
needs.
everything that you're saying. It's so on point. So just one other question. You said that you practice or can practice or licensed in Connecticut and Florida.
Yes.
And why did you do that? Why those states?
Well, I'll start with Florida. That's a funny story. I had just passed a New York bar many years ago, and I was talking to some friends who were in the process of studying for the Florida bar. They said, well, why don't you come down and join us? We're going to go down to Florida and take it. So I kind of did it on a lark, more so to, just experience Florida. Of course, it was summer in July in Tampa, so it's not the same as Florida on spring break. But I sat through the exam, and I did study for it, but I didn't think I did that well. It was only afterwards, like 6 weeks later, I got the letter congratulating me that I passed, but I hadn't realized at the time the only way you could become a lawyer in Florida is to sit and pass the bar exam. So there were a lot of older people, men and women, taking the exam when I did. I was 20-something, and I'm sitting next to 50 and 60-year-old people that were semi-retiring to Florida, but they were the best lawyer where they came from whatever state they came from, Midwest or California and New York. But to practice law in Florida, they're very protective. You must sit and take their bar exam. I couldn't imagine taking an exam of that magnitude ever again. Once was enough. So I kind of lucked into that haphazardly, actually, but a good portion of my business now is Florida based. So I kept the license all these years, and I'm glad that I did that. Connecticut also, with some of the clients I work with, they have a Connecticut presence, so that was a little easier to get. That's, pay your fee, pay your dues, and, raise your right hand, and you can become a member of the Florida bar that way. The Connecticut bar, as with most states except Florida. So that's come in handy too. But 3 is enough. I don't need to go any further than that. I'm happy with what I'm doing now.
It's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
This was great. That's so much. That was like, you should write a book about all this knowledge that you have. That was really fascinating. So,
in my free time, I'll do that.
Yeah, right. I know. So can you tell the people how they can get in touch with you? And I know what we were just talking about.
Sure. Well, I have, my name's George Switnicki. I have a physical presence, an office in Yonkers, New York, 125 Corporate Boulevard in Yonkers. And my phone number has been the same for years, so you can look it up, but it's 914-945-0400. And my email is like my name, gswitnicki@mac.com. So if anyone who sees this video has any questions or wants to comment, contact me. I'd be happy to meet you and talk to you. And it's been a blast. I'm glad that we got a chance to do this.
Great. Thanks, George.
Very
It
much.
was so great.
Thank you.
All right, you guys. We'll see you next time at the Greater Austin Chamber of Commerce Chamber Chats.